This is a presentation of CNN Sports.
Coming up next on CNN Sports Tonight, we'll cruise through all the best action of the day. Amongst the sampling, Casino Night in Atlanta, as the Vegas boys are reunited. The Roughneck Knicks try to beat the Pistons at their own game. Is Joe on the go? He looks to be off and running to the Midwest. While in New York, the Rangers have a new man behind the bench, and the Mets have a doctor in the dugout with a funny bone. There's nothing funny about the Tigers, though. They're roaring and rocking in Steel Town. In golf, we'll have the dream day of one man and take you to Harbortown for the Heritage Classic. Watch your steps. Sports Tonight is creeping up on you.
Welcome to the show. Fortunately, we are fastened to our seats.
Yes,
I'm Tom Kirkland. Glad to have you with us.
And I'm Nancy Newman. Thanks very much for joining us. And Tom, we could be near the end of an era. Joe Montana, very close to getting out of San Francisco.
That's right. One of the questions I've been trying to figure out is what will the Chiefs do? You know, number 16, which is the number that Joe's worn for years, is now the property of Len Dawson, the Hall of Fame quarterback, and has been retired in Kansas City. So one of the problems that the Chiefs will have to figure on. Of course, they'd like to have that one. The pigskin's now in the 49ers' hands. Legendary quarterback Joe Montana agreed to a 3-year contract with the Kansas City Chiefs on Saturday, and now it's up to the team he led to 4 Super Bowl victories to decide what to do. After all, they've made it clear Montana won't get any playing time in San Francisco. Joe's second visit to Kansas City on Friday was the clincher. With his wife Jennifer alongside, Joe met again with the Chiefs coaches and general manager. It was clear, despite the fact that Montana's only played in one half of one game in the past 2 seasons after elbow surgery, the Chiefs still feel this 36-year-old is worth the risk, and they're already moving away from their run-oriented offense.
Yeah, obviously is pleased that we are going to be installing, or have been installing, the, you want to say, 49er offense. His previous offensive coordinator, Paul Hackett, is here. I think he is impressed that this football team has won for 4 consecutive years and been in 3 consecutive playoffs.
I think with the addition of Joe Montana, it gives us a different element. It gives us somebody who's experienced, somebody who's been there, somebody who knows how to win when the game's on the line.
But not so fast. The Niners still haven't agreed to the trade. Despite the presence of NFL MVP Steve Young and freshly signed $1 million backup quarterback Steve Bono, the Niners want KC's #1 pick in the upcoming draft to trade Montana. The Chiefs so far are only willing to part with a 3rd-round pick, although they've hinted at throwing in a player or players to sweeten the deal. 49ers team president Carmen Policy insists, quote, there's a distinct possibility Joe will remain in San Francisco, unquote. But that may just be posturing in hopes to up the ante from the Chiefs. The wild card in all this is Montana's relationship with 49ers owner Eddie DeBartolo. Joe is reportedly spending the weekend with DeBartolo, and he may be willing to settle for a little less to give Montana an opportunity to go out in style. You can expect this whole thing to be wrapped up before next Sunday's NFL draft. Nancy?
To the NBA now, and the Detroit Pistons, who are in danger of missing the playoffs for the first time in a decade. Visiting the Knicks, who are battling the Bulls for the best record in the conference. Who wanted this one more? Let's go to Madison Square Garden and find out. This was a physical game. Knicks and Pistons, you better believe it. Charles Smith hacked and then dragged by Alvin Robertson. Second quarter, Isaiah Thomas, a nice whip pass to Robertson for the layup. Pat Riley doesn't like that, but the Knicks do lead by 4 at the half. In the third, more rough stuff. Dennis Rodman antagonizes Anthony Mason, who takes exception, but cooler heads did prevail. Now Doc Rivers gets it to Charles Smith, who attacks the rim with the big jam. Knicks by 13. More ugliness later, though. Isaiah Thomas takes Doc Rivers down and then puts a foot in his face. Kicks him in the head. Isaiah ejected. John Starks responds by burying a 3-pointer to put the Knicks up by 15, 95-85 the final. The Knicks now a half game up on the Bulls in the conference. Detroit is 9th in the Eastern Conference. They fall to 2 games behind Indiana, who holds the number 8 spot. On to the Omni for the Hornets and the Hawks. Pick this one up in the second quarter. Hornets on a fast break. Kendall Gill to Del Curry. Trailer, Larry Johnson for the layup. 51-48, Charlotte in front. Third quarter now. Mookie misses the 3. Sidney Green, the rebound, has it stripped by Neek for the easy 2. Neek with 41 points in the game. Hawks up 86-77. But it would all fall apart in the fourth. Wingate feeds it to Morning inside, who gets stripped and fouled, but somehow the ball found the basket, tying it at 90. Hawks have a final shot, needing a 3. Mookie cannot hit it. Alan Bristow is plumped 110-107. The Hornets move past the Hawks into 6th place in the East as the Hawks lose for the 6th time in 8 games.
Last year when the Miami Heat made its first ever, last year they made their first ever playoff appearance. Folks in the Florida Panhandle hoped it was the beginning of a long run in the postseason, son. Well, if Indiana beats the Bucks Sunday, Miami's out this time around, losing for just the second time in their past 17 home games. Nice look early, though. Brian Shaw, the former Celtic, to Ronnie Cycli, he dunks it on in. He had 23 on the go. Steve Smith looks a little like magic on that play. Pretty fast for Grant Long, who drops it in. Then, more Steve Smith magic. Look at the fake. Look at Joe Klein. He doesn't know where the ball is, but in a minute it's going to be right in his face. The Heat up by 3, up by 4 after 3. Then they go on a 13-5 run. Harold Miner, nice move along the baseline. Kevin Lockridge's pretty pleased, but then Reggie Lewis takes over for the Celtics. Shoots it on his way down, gets it. And then on his way to the basket over Cycli for 2 more. And then he ends it with the baseline two-hander. And Kevin Lockridge with a two-hander of his own in disbelief. The Celtics come all the way back behind Lewis's 32. Boston's just about assured of home court advantage in their first-round playoff series, owning the 4th spot in the playoff picture. The Nets let the Bullets get away early. My vote for the worst mascot in the NBA, that was Hoops. And speaking of Hoops, Rex Chapman going baseline on the Nets and throws one in, and that goes into the hoops over Derek Coleman. They were out to a 23-point lead were the Bullets, but here come the Nets on the way back. Ramil Robinson finds Chucky Brown, who keeps working off the glass for 2. Wes Unseld is incensed. Well, he should be. His team's going to blow a 23-point lead. Right here, Derek Coleman with the game winner. He bottoms it out. Nets win it by 1. And then Chris Morris does the old body bump on the assistant coach in happiness. The remarkable rally from 23 down snaps the Nets' season-long 7-game losing streak, firming up their hold on the 5th spot, which means a first-round playoff date with Boston if they hold on. The Celtics, of course, get the home court in that one. So here's the latest updated look at how the East Conference playoff picture bottoms out. The Hornets have buzzed past the Hawks into the 6th position. The Pacers cling to the 8th and final spot. The Pistons on the verge of missing the postseason for the first time since 1982-83 season, and that's a decade. Of course, they do have a whole week left to go and plenty of basketball left for them, and they're only a half game out, so they still could hold on. And with the likes of Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas, you don't never count them out. But that's an incredible decade about to come to an end, maybe.
Definitely. And getting back to Joe Montana, the Chiefs, I guess not too much of a surprise. Phoenix really not a contender. I could see him in Chiefs colors more than you probably could in Cardinals colors. But what is he going to do about that number 16? Lenny Dawson isn't his godfather, so he's not about to give that up.
Right. Well, I have a feeling, Lenny will say, hey, bring the guy to town. If he can guarantee a Super Bowl, I'll give him my jersey back, the shirt off my back, so to speak. But again, that would be a good problem for the Chiefs right now, because as it stands right now, there is no deal. We expect to hear something, of course, in the next week.
I guess the Super Bowl would be worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll hit the Diamond Dirt when we come back. All kinds of Saturday action to tell you about, including those powerful Tiger bats who've been churning out runs like nobody else. Homers galore and Sparky enjoying the glory. The Blast Fest is next.
From the awe of Tiger, power to the O's of plenty. Atlanta's Bravos can pitch it, but they can't seem to hit it. Scoring 1 run in 39 innings, but then lightning struck at the stick. Stay put, and you'll see who threw the ball.
Nowadays, you see more and more Alamo cars in America's business regions. From the Sun Belt to the Grain Belt to inside the Beltway. You see our Cadillacs on Wall Street and our convertibles in Tinseltown. In fact, any belt, corridor, coast, or loop you do business in, you're in Alamo territory. With express service, low rates, and all the miles free. Including those in places where doing business isn't all business.
He did what?
If this reminds you of the level of productivity in your office,
Working hard, Larry. Ow! Bonehead.
there's something you should know.
It is. Who got your paper stuck in there?
I just put new paper in.
How'd you do this?
Buyers Lab gave every Mita copier they tested their highest rating for uptime. So if you want a more productive office, get a Mita. Call 1-800-ABC-MITA.
Welcome back to the show. And how potent is the Tigers lineup? For the second time in the past 5 days, Detroit scored 20 runs in a game, and Cecil Fielder, who's led the majors in RBI each of the past 3 seasons, has had his heavy hand in only 2 of those 40 runs. Tuesday, it was Oakland. Saturday, Seattle's pitchers got rocked. Plenty of Tiger in this Detroit's tank, and this is what it looked like. If you're a Seattle pitcher, balls going everywhere, the line drives, the bloopers, everything falling in for Sparky's guys, and then some power. 8-2 Tigers. In the 6th, Mickey Tettleton, 3-run shot, upper deck, 11-2. Bottom of the 7th, Rob Deere, another 3-run shot. This is to the opposite field into the upper deck. 16-2 Tigers. Now, you know that somebody from Seattle is going to back the next Tiger off the plate. And here it is, Tim Leary to Chad Kruder. You can't score that many runs and have a free ride at home. But then what does he do? He goes down to first base and promptly scampers around to score on Gary Thurman. Shot over center fielder Ken Griffey Jr.'s head. 3-run triple, 20-3. Wow, that's quite a day. Perhaps Seattle skipper Lou Piniella summed it up best. It was 36 degrees. We got to freeze our butts and get them kicked at the same time. The modern Major League record for 20-run games by one team in a season is 3. Detroit's already got 2, and it's only mid-April. Our Laundry Day special spins from Boston. The Red Sox dusted the White Sox, and Demick on hand to throw out the first pitch. The old left-hander, a feeble attempt right there. Mike Greenwell, first inning, what a season he's had after missing most of last year with injuries. Doubles off the big green thing. 1 run is in. 1-0 Red Sox. To the wonder of highlights and television, it's now 4-0 Boston in the 5th inning. Mo Vaughn, what a spring he's having. Rips it down the line, and Greenwell, that man, number 39, scampers around, touches home, 5-0 Sox. Meanwhile, Joe Hesketh, who used to be a fastball pitcher, uses the slow stuff now, and Frank Thomas, get out. Second time in the game he has struck out. Red Sox win it by 4. Joe Hesketh almost tossed his first shutout in 8 years. Nancy?
For the Rangers and the Yankees, it must have seemed like they never left the ballpark. Last night's victory by New York did not end until 1 a.m. thanks to 2 rain delays. Less than 12 hours later, today's contest began. Texas was ready. New York was not. The Yankees got shelled this afternoon. Kevin Brown on the hill looking for win number 2. The bottom of the 5th, 2-0 for the Rangers. Spike Owen, the slow roller to third, but Dean Palmer makes a nice play to get the sliding Owen. Ahead to the top of the 6th, still 2-0, bases loaded. Rodriguez, the base hit through the hole, scores Jose Canseco and Juan Gonzalez to make it 4-0. Same inning, bases juiced again. Doug DeCenzo at the plate, he singles to left to score another pair. Palmer and Rodriguez come in 6-0 at that point. Rangers go on to blank the Yankees. Brown pitched a 6-hitter in his 2nd straight complete game. Last year's 21-game winner is now 8-2 lifetime against the Yankees. In Cleveland, Joe Carter hit his 4th homer in the last 7 games, and Pat Hentgen threw 5 shutout innings as the world champs bounced back from a 13-1 pounding. The Brewers jumped on Bob Welch for 4 runs in the 1st and never looked back as they doubled up on the A's, who fall under 500 for the first time since 1987. David Cone fell to 0-3, as the Twins did in the Royals. Jim Deshaies, the Twins' bargain basement pickup, got the win and is 3-0. And in Baltimore, Angels rookie J.T. Snow homered and drove in the game winner with an 8th-inning triple as the Angels won for the 5th time in 5 games. All the National League action is up next on Sports Tonight. Plus, another coaching change in the Big Apple. While the NHL's cream of the crop begin their pursuit of the Stanley Cup, the Rangers season is over. So enter Mike Keenan. Details to come.
It's not just a high-performance tire. It's a Michelin. So it does things ordinary tires just can't do. The XGT series from Michelin.
Nobody does it like you, the way that you do. Nobody's got the power to please me. Nobody does it like you. Puts it all together better to make it easy. Nobody does it like you. Hoover, nobody does it like you.
There are all kinds of places to play, but only one place to stay. A Stofa Resort. Because there's no place quite as beautiful, quite as challenging, quite as green. Stofa Resorts. There's nothing quite like them.
Monday on Sports Tonight. Well, it happens to be Patriots Day in Boston, Massachusetts, which means 2 things. 1, the Boston Marathon, and 2, Red Sox baseball. We'll have the highlights of both of those, plus the NHL playoffs going full bore Monday at 11.
Welcome back. Well, it may be early, but Braves fans are already asking what's wrong with the two-time NL champs. Their team ERA is second best in the majors, but they've scored just 1 run in the last 31 innings. That spells concern for Bobby Cox and for Steve Avery today. But Avery hung around long enough to get support from Terry Pendleton for the win. Let's head west to Candlestick. Rain coming hard into the Braves dugout, but the game would go on. No score, bases loaded, 1 out. Trevor Wilson on the mound. Jeff Blauser at the plate. Hits into the 6-4-3 double play, and the Giants celebrate like this is the end of the game or something. Not so fast, San Fran. This one far from over. Steve Avery having a very strong day. He gets Kurt Manwaring with the high heat to keep it scoreless. Ahead to the 8th, Braves trying to get something going, but Barry Bonds has something to say about that with this diving catch, robbing David Justice of a hit. Still no score until the 9th. Mike Jackson on the mound, Deion Sanders at second. Terry Pendleton finally gets the Braves on the board, breaking out with the 2-run homer. That's the way it ended. The Braves count their first win in the series with the Giants, thanks largely to Steve Avery, who was exceptional. 8 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball. On to Riverfront, the Mets taking on the struggling Reds, and Dr. Giggles, Doc Gooden, squirting Pete Shorrock in the dugout. Bottom of the 4th, 1-0 Reds with a man on second, Frank Tanana. Snags Chris Sabo's liner and nearly gets Kevin Mitchell at second. Tony Perez not happy. Top of 6 now, 2 out, still tied at 1. Vince Coleman on third. Eddie Murray bloops one just over a diving Bip Roberts. He can't get to it, and Coleman trots home to make it 2-1 for the Mets. At the top of the 9th, Rob Dibble walked the first 2 batters, then gives up this Charlie O'Brien single that plates Bobby Bonilla, and a sliding Howard Johnson. 4-1 for the Mets. The Reds lose their 5th straight, and their 2-9 start is their worst in 38 years.
It's not for the Cubs. The Phillies may be 11-0, but much to the displeasure of the men from Philly, the Cubs, of course, do exist and have handed Philly all 3 of its losses. Saturday, the power was on early, and by the end, the Cubs' winning run was up to 3. Dwight Smith, making his first start of the season, doesn't waste any time making the big impression. Curt Schilling's pitch, the 5th of the game. Forget about it. 1-0 Cubs. Sammy Sosa added a solo home run to make it 2-0. Top of the 3rd. The Phillies now with the bases loaded. Jose Guzman facing Wes Chamberlain. And he bounces one. No hope for the catcher. Dave Hollins hustling. Face first. He's in. 2-1 Cubs. We move to the bottom of the 7th. Bases loaded. And this is the number 8 hitter, Jose Vizcaino. He drills one into right field. Derek May is around. Here comes Sammy Sosa. Vizcaino, his 8th and 9th RBI already of the season. 4-1 Cubs. And then top of the 9th, Randy Myers on. Dave Hollins just get out. 6-3 Cubs. Randy doing it again. His 3rd save. After winning 8 of its first 9, the Phillies have dropped 2 in a row. Jose Guzman continues to pitch well since coming from Texas. Montreal didn't want to re-sign free agent Andres Galarraga, but it's too late to rethink that mistake. The Cat's been ripping up his old team here in '93. Galarraga takes Dennis Martinez into the left field corner. This is the 1st inning. A couple of runs are scampering around. Galarraga chugs into second. 2-0 Colorado. He's not done. Top of the 3rd inning. Still 2-0. Here he goes again. This time he says, I'll try the other way. I'll try the other wall. Moises Alou can't track it down. It's off the big blue one out and right. Dante Bichette chugs on in, and Galarraga ends up with a triple. 3-0 Rockies, and they go on to tattoo Montreal by a 9-1 final. For the 2nd time in a week, the Rockies had their way with Dennis Martinez. Marquise Grissom left the game with a hamstring injury and won't play Sunday. If there's a hot tin roof in the major leagues, the Cat is dancing on it, especially against his former team. 11 of his major league leading 14 RBI have come at the Expos' expense. Too bad after this weekend, the Colorados and Montreals don't get to meet again until late August. And the other expansion club discovers the Astrodome, Florida's first win indoors. They get 7 in the 7th inning, thanks to a home run and a 2-run double in the same inning from Benito Santiago and a strong pitching performance from Jack Armstrong. Nancy?
Hockey now, and the race for Lord Stanley's Cup begins tomorrow, but the New York Rangers won't be there. However, the organization has taken a major step in ensuring they don't get left out in the cold again by naming their 13th coach in as many years. Mike Keenan is their new man. The rap on Keenan is that he works his players very hard and doesn't leave a whole lot of friends behind him. But he is a winner, except for in the Stanley Cup Finals. He's gotten there 3 times, no wins, twice with the Flyers, the other with the Blackhawks, but has yet to have his name engraved on the cup. That's why he has not been happy upstairs, as the Hawks GM stepping down to wait for the right opportunity, which he says has arrived.
No other city has a fan base like the New York Rangers. No other city has the enthusiasm of the sporting fan like New York. And for those reasons, among others, I'm extremely proud of the fact that I'm now a New York Ranger, and I'm looking forward to all the challenges that job encompasses.
Keenan inherits the first team in 2 decades to win the President's Trophy with the best record in the league to missing the playoffs. Next up, we'll head to the PGA National Golf Club in Florida, where the seniors are putting on some kind of show. In particular, Tom Wargo has stolen the spotlight. Tom who? We'll tell you all about him when we come back.
It's time to introduce you to Tom Wargo, owner and head golf pro at the Greenview Country Club in Centralia, Illinois. He says he does it all at his club. Gives golf lessons, cuts the grass, flips burgers, and other yeoman chores. Well, tonight he's the BMOC at the Seniors PGA Championship in Palm Beach Gardens. But this is Bruce Crampton showing us all how to get it done off the green on 14. Nice birdie there. He's just 4 shots back heading into Sunday. But here's that man, Tom Wargo. The 15th hole, uses every part of the cup, rolls around and in to go to 10 under and into the lead. And he may not know how to close with a win yet, but he knows how to close the show. This is 18. He plays the break perfectly, bottoms it out. 5 under 67 today, 11 under overall. Wargo taught himself how to play. Now he must teach himself how to hold on to a lead against some legends and other seasoned tour pros. The former steel worker and dairy farmer is looking for his first ever title. The week after the Masters at Augusta, the Younger is taking on the Harbortown Lynx on Hilton Head Island. David Edwards had a share of the lead, but he bogeyed 18. And Masters champ Bernard Longer started the day tied for the top, but a 74 puts him 4 back. And at the Women's Atlanta Championship, LPGA champ Betsy King shares the lead with Trish Johnson. If King wins, it'll be her 29th career tour title, 1 shy of automatic induction into the LPGA Hall of Fame.
A couple of major Derby prep races ran this afternoon. The winner was a favorite at the Wood Memorial at Aqueduct. Storm Tower, the number 8 horse in the blue silk, jumps out to the early lead and never looks back over the 1 1/8 track. Rider Rick Wilson and Storm Tower might have run themselves right into the Derby as they hung on down the stretch to win by just over a length in a time of 1:49.35. Storm Tower, the pre-race favorite, wins his 5th race in 6 career starts. On to Oaklawn for the Arkansas Derby, and no favorite in sight here. The winner, a long shot. Legendary jockey Bill Shoemaker, the trainer for Diazo, who did not do it today. Coming down the stretch, it is Fox Trail with the lead. But Rockamundo, 4th at the turn, made a move on the inside rail to pull away from the field, and at the wire, Rockamundo off at 108-1 is the biggest upset in Arkansas Derby history, winning the race at a time of 1 minute 48 seconds to capture the $500,000 purse. Rockamundo paid $218 to win.
Tonight's play of the day is dedicated to the growing pod pack in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Corey, Mary, Mike, Sally, Carol, Mark, and Julia. This one's for you. It's not graceful, but it is rather amazing. Detroit's Dennis Rodman is not known for his offensive skills, but somehow, sometimes, the ball goes in. Case in point at Madison Square Garden. We've slowed it down for you because he can't believe it either. Take a look, Dennis. That's right. Right around Patrick Ewing, and then somehow off the elbow bone, knee bone, and into the hoop. Pistons maybe a game and a half out of the playoffs, but right now, that's the play of the day.
Play of the day brought to you by Alamo. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo territory, and with Alamo, all those miles are free.
Nowadays, you see more and more Alamo cars in America's business regions. From the Sun Belt to the Grain Belt to inside the Beltway, you see our Cadillacs on Wall Street and our convertibles in Tinseltown. In fact, any belt, corridor, coast, or loop you do business in, you're in Alamo territory with express service, low rates, and all the miles free, including those in places where doing business isn't all business.
Brown. Got a phone call from Dockers. Saw you in a pair of wingtips, we said. You've got real potential. Flattered Brown threw in with us. And look at him now. From saddle brown to chestnut, dark chocolate to sable, Brown never looked better. It's true what they say. Nobody does Brown like Dockers.
Shipping a package to Omaha? That's child's play. Like customs in Shanghai. The Peruvian Andes. parking in Paris, sandstorms in Cairo, the 400 dialects of India, an address between Czech and Slovakia. That demands local know-how. DHL people are the locals. DHL, we'll take it from here. Omaha, that's a milk run.
We're packing our bags. I'm Tom Kirkland.
And I'm Nancy Newman. The news continues.
This has been a presentation of CNN Sports.